Hello and welcome back to WCPoets.com's Spring Previews. We are joined today by our women's lacrosse head coach, Emily Hammer. Coach, thanks for joining us. Let's start and let's talk about your expectations for this season.
Well, hi Travis. Expectations, this is actually a really pretty tough question. I like to have high expectations for our team every year, but this year it's a very different group of girls. We graduated 5 seniors last year and we have 9 freshmen joining us. And my expectations for the team are pretty high. I think that they're going to, definitely be adjusting to each other first couple of games of the season, as I think any new team does every year. But they're getting along really well, and our practices have been excellent. They've been just super positive, so I'm in a good place. I think they're pretty positive and excited about their game on Wednesday, so we'll see.
Let's talk about some of the players, and we'll start in the cage. Last season, Connie Joel was a second-team all-conference honoree, and I know you brought in a freshman that you're excited about, so just talk about the goalies.
Well, we have 2 goalies this year. As you mentioned, Connie. Connie's a senior this year, and we have Lindsay Warwick, who's a freshman. Connie has been working really, really hard this year, and I think that she is excited about her senior year. She's expecting to do better than she's ever done. I know that she's, determined in certain areas, and I know that Lindsay's been a pretty good push for her. Lindsay's quite talented. She's really quick, and they're both very different. Lindsay's really, really fast with her hands and fast with the clears, and Connie's a little bit, I would say, more technically sound, and they both bring totally different things to the table, and I think that that's excellent for us. It puts us in good positions for all the different people that we're going to be seeing this year. So. And
how about on defense? Who are some players we should keep an eye out for on that end of the field?
On defense, we are going to be returning 2 starters. We have Kristen Devon, who's a senior, and Marlene Moffitt, who is a sophomore. Then we have a couple other young girls. We have Amaya Moretta from Los Alamitos, who was a phenomenal high school player, defender, and she'll be playing defense for us. And then we have a couple other girls. We're still kind of trying to figure out where they're going to go, but still we have some seniors that may be playing back for us, and then they might be playing in the midfield, Katie Clinton being one of them, and then sophomore Drew Cooperman. So we'll see.
And moving on up into the midfield, how about that area?
Well, we have Amy Serbo, who is a conference player for us last year. She's going to be playing in the midfield and hopefully moving across the line into attack for us this year. She didn't do that last year. She pretty much stayed behind the restraining line on the defensive end. We're going to try and get her on attack a little bit and in the midfield clearly. But Shayna Denny is another freshman. She's from Los Alamitos as well. She was a phenomenal high school player, and she's going to be playing for us. In the midfield, I think maybe center. And then we have Carolyn Mukai, who will be back from last year. She's a sophomore. She was a really big player for us last year, and hopefully will continue to do so this year, but she'll be in the midfield as well.
And speaking of Carolyn, of course, she scored so many goals for you offensively. What have you done to bring help on the offensive end of the field for her?
Well, that was something that we really tried last year to do. We had a wonderful team last year, but every year, we've been trying to elevate our recruiting classes, and last year when we had somebody like Carolyn come onto our team, we realized that a lot of times you need to bring good players in that she can help make look good and also that can help her, and that was a big focus for us. And we do have Shayna, who I think they play very well together in practice. We'll see how they play in the season as it goes forward. But we also have some good attackers. We have a girl named Haley Klein, who is very good at seeing things in the midfield and in offense. And then we have another young lady, Dana Baracco, who's really quick and great around the crease. And I think, with that, Carolyn's going to have a lot of different options, and it won't just be necessarily, oh, Carolyn has the ball, go to cage, go to cage, go to cage. I think that for us kind of hurt us a little bit last year. It was pretty easy to see where things were headed if Carolyn had the ball, and we're trying to open up our offense a little bit more and be able to play a bunch of different people in different areas. We like to call people attackers and midfielders and so on, but we're trying to make an attack that is a little bit more well-rounded, where everybody doesn't necessarily play in one position all the time. They can move around and be a threat in other areas. So hopefully that'll work.
So you're obviously excited about a lot of the new new players to the team, and of course with the returners.
Yes.
So with this group, where do you see them stacking up with the rest of the conference?
I don't know. That's a really good question. I think it's fun to speculate and say, oh, you know, CMS, Redlands, Oxy, Pomona, they all lost players, but they also have all new players. And I think this year is going to be very interesting. I think, you know, in the past, CMS has been a huge, I think, for lack of a better word, powerhouse in this region. But every year as the sport grows, it just gets more and more competitive. And these girls are coming to all these different schools for different reasons, you know, academically and socially and for athletics. And I just think this playing field this year is pretty even, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. I'm not gonna call us favorites or second or third. I'm just hoping that we're gonna take one game at a time and really just push ourselves and hopefully win the SCIAC this year. Who knows? That's the plan.
Well, one game at a time, and it all starts Wednesday night out in Redlands as you take on those Bulldogs who finished second in the conference last year. Coach, we want to thank you for taking some time out and joining us here today, and good luck this season.
Thanks, Travis.